me, Vicky Marie, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So, what I'm going to talk about today is Bristol, where Jack O'Sullivan went missing. And one of our family, one of our Chatterati family, sent me a very interesting video about Bristol Centre, sort of what it's like. And, we don't know what happened to Jack yet. Jack's been missing over a year. His family are, well, can't imagine how inconsolable they are that their boy went out for a normal night out, went to a party with his friends, and he's never come home. And over a year has passed, his birthday's passed. And then there's been a Christmas, there's been a New Year, and they don't know anything, no clues whatsoever about what happened to their lovely son, Jack O'Sullivan. And of course, one of the possibilities, although the police believe that Jack went in the river because there's a lot of water round about where Jack is, where Jack disappeared. And, that's a reasonable assumption. We've seen recently, just yesterday, very unfortunately, Sebastian Sailors was pulled out of the river, who'd been missing for 2 weeks. We see it often. It happens often. The police have given their theory that he's gone into the river through experience that young men who have had a little bit too much to drink and walk by the side of water quite often fall in the water. So it's a reasonable hypothesis, but the thing is, in over a year, no trace of Jack has been found. So we've seen all these other cases, and they are found. The two twins in Aberdeen, they do normally get found, or some trace of them gets found. With Jack, there's nothing. So it's possible. There's always got to be other possibilities of why Jack has not come home to his family, haven't there? So one of the possibilities that I think a lot of us feel that is possible, that he may have come to some foul play for reasons that I'm going to explain in a minute. So then, as I say, my subscriber, one of our family, she sent me this video that we're going to look at today, which I think, and it brought me home to sort of how lucky I am to live where I live and how many people are lost in this world. I mean, we all get lost at times, don't we? But there's so many people that really are. It's just awful. It's not only Britain. This is Britain, Bristol in the UK we're talking about. But just so sad, isn't it? And drugs are the scourge of modern society, in my eyes. When I was growing up in Manchester, it's a city centre, you had to be careful in that, but it was nothing like these places are now, nothing. Anyway, first of all, I just want to say thank you to everyone. So for, people that send me emails like that, show me videos that I think I'll find interesting. Thank you to those of you who are subscribed to my channel. Thank you to everyone who likes the videos, shares the videos. And a special thanks, as always, to my members, to people who send me Ko-fis or super stickers or PayPal me. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. And most important, thank you for caring about people like Jack. So Jack O'Sullivan, as I say, has been missing for a long, long time. But we're going to keep highlighting his, that he's still missing until his family gets some resolution of what's happened to Jack. We will not leave this case. Every now and again, there seems to be so little news at the moment. There is no updates ever come out, it seems. And poor Jack's family have decided to pause the Facebook page because they can't cope with the negativity that comes through from fools out there, just think it's, I don't know, what do they think? I think it's fun to troll a family of a missing son, I don't know. Who knows their motives? But so sadly, there's not as much, even less news coming out now because the family have found it hard to cope with some of the comments, some of the things that come through. Now, 90% of people or more are positive, send good thoughts. They want Jack to be found. They want this family to be finally put out their misery one way or another. But I would just say to anyone, just imagine your loved one walking out the door one day and just never coming back, and you never knowing what's happened to them. Poof, disappeared into, like abracadabra, just disappeared into a puff of smoke. Can't be much more things that are, worse than that, really. Even if you find out that something terrible's happened to them, at least find out. You can. How can this family even carry on with their lives? Very difficult. So I'm going to say hello to everyone first, and then we're going to look at this video that I was sent, just showing what Bristol is like. And it makes you see even more clearly, because this is where Jack went missing, how it's possible that he did come to foul play. So I'm going to say hello to everybody in the chat first. I'm going to say hello to all you lurkers at home. Hi to everyone who's watching on replay. Thank you so much for caring about Jack O Sullivan. So, hi Angel. Hi Kelly. Yeah, Donna, not that Donna. Hi. Yeah, me too, Kelly. Young people. I mean, I suppose it's always been a little bit like that. It just seems worse now. I don't know. Something. Anyway, we'll watch this video and you'll see what I mean. So first of all, let me just get the area up. I like to show Bristol on Google Maps so people know where we're talking about. Let's show that. So Bristol is in the south of the UK. There it is. And we've got London, not that far away. So, and where Jack went missing in Bristol, there's a lot of water. There is a lot of water around. And it is possible, that he went into one of these waterways, of course. Because he was last, let's see if I can get up. He was last seen sort of walking on the outskirts of Bristol City Centre, not actually in the city centre, but he was looking for a taxi. So briefly, the sort of the history is that Jack had gone to a party. It was a midweek night. It wasn't a weekend. He'd gone to a party. There's a lot of sort of talk about maybe he had an altercation with somebody at the party. That did he fall and hurt his head? There's a lot of people saying things like that, but we don't know all the details. And so if we look at, and then he decided to go and get a taxi himself. So this is the Hot Wells area. Look at all this water around. Here's Hot Wells here. And Jack seemed to be sort of walking around here trying to find a taxi. Couldn't find a taxi. The last message to his mum was that he was trying to find a taxi. And then she woke up in the morning, sort of early hours of the morning, he still wasn't home. So that's when the family set off to sort of use a look at where his phone had last pinged. It had last pinged in that Hot Wells area at around about 5:45 in the morning. So, the phone was still live until then. Also, another thing that had happened is Jack had tried to phone one of his friends at the party. They hadn't managed to answer it. And then when they phoned him back, Jack answered the phone and said hello, but then the phone just went dead. So why did the phone go dead? Did somebody mug him? There's that question. Why, when he said hello, did the phone just suddenly cut off? Did it run out of battery? or maybe it was out of, some places haven't got that good a service, have they? But he never phoned this friend back. So, and if we just look now, the thing I think about Jack that's important here, like Jack wasn't a streetwise boy, let's say. He wasn't. He was dressed nicely. He was at university. He wasn't. He wasn't a boy that would go wandering around the streets. When I say a boy, I mean he was 22. Let's have a look. He's 23 now. He's turned 23. This is the Find Jack website. And this is Jack, bless him. So, and he was dressed nicely. He had a lot of designer things on. So from this video that I'm going to show you about how it is in Bristol, makes you wonder, he had a lot of things that were worth money. He was wearing this Barber jacket. He was wearing these brown Ralph Lauren trainers, navy blue chinos, this lamb's wool jumper. He had a black iPhone with him. His cards and things, this nice watch, an Emporio Armani watch. So none of these items have ever been found. So was Jack mugged? It's a possibility, isn't it? Or did a car stop? Or, so there's still, although the police's theory is that he went into the water, which, as we've seen, is often what happens, to be fair. That is why the police come up with these hypotheses on the balance of probability, isn't it, from the experience that they've got. When young men who are drunk are walking near water, like this, where they're surrounded by water, they normally end up in that water. So that's why the police are saying it. But there's no evidence of it, but there's no evidence. It's one of those where there's no evidence of anything. So, of course, all possibilities must be on the table. So if you live in that area, or anyone who lives in that area, please share some of Jack's information with them, this video or the website or anything, because it's still, there may be people who saw something that they didn't realise that was important at the time. That just might be important to solving this horrible mystery of what happened to Jack O'Sullivan, and help this family come to terms with whatever's happened. If it is bad, it's likely to be bad, isn't it, after all this time? I mean, we have to face reality. Jack hasn't disappeared for over a year without contacting his family voluntarily, whatever way. He's either, had an accident or something's happened to him, somebody's done something to him. Because Jack, he was, he wasn't someone who'd run away before, or, he was like, he hasn't run away. There's no way that Jack O'Sullivan has run away. So either he did go into the water, some accident befell him, or somebody has done something to him to stop him contacting his family, because Jack would have contacted his family if he possibly could. So it's quite, it's very sad, but that is the reality of it. And I'm sure the family are perfectly aware of that. I'm sure there's not much more they think about every day. So that's where we are, Bristol, in the UK. As I say, if I zone out, shows you where it is in context with the rest of the UK. Not that far from London, sort of, what would you call that, south-east? I'm not very good with directions. Though, funnily enough, I'm one of those people that everyone always stops me for directions when I'm walking down the street. I must look like I'm good at directions, but I'm actually rubbish. But anyway, so this is where Jack went missing. Now, Jack could be anywhere across the country now. That's important to remember as well, because depending on what happened to him, if somebody picked him up and took him off somewhere, we seem to have all these incidences lately of these young boys around that area. Is there any spiking going on? Or is it just that, you know, at the end of the day, young lads, they go out, they drink too much, perhaps they even take a few substances, and then they just sort of blunder into the water, you know, or that's what the police seem to think. But, or is there something more sinister than that? Is there some spiking going on? You know, I don't know. So the thing is, Sebastian, who was found yesterday, I'm presuming they do a toxicology report. You know, they'll know how much alcohol he had in his system. But of course, he had been missing for 2 weeks. So I don't know how that stands up then, you know, for forensics. But we'll get to know more about, I suppose, Sebastian as time goes on. But I'm just glad he's been found. Obviously, not in the circumstances he's been found, but it's better than him never being found. You know, his family have had 2 weeks of worrying where he was and what happened to him. And now they have got the worst possible news, but at least they have their boy to take home and give a decent burial to. Unlike Jack O'Sullivan's family, of course. And this, you know, no resolution whatsoever. It's just awful, isn't it? You know, the thought of it, just the thought of it, I can't wrap my head around it at all. So this, so our member of our Vicky Marie Chats family sent me a video from a YouTuber that I'd not heard of before. I'm going to, I've put a link down to their YouTube channel in the description box. I tried to find an email so that I could actually ask for their permission to use this. I haven't been able to do that. I hope they don't mind me using it under fair use. I've linked to them. Hi, King, and let's have a look at this video. So now I want to give a warning because I found it quite distressing. Just to see how some people live. When you see it, it's very distressing. You know, it goes on, but it's going on sort of, you know, some people are just so lost in this world. I don't know what the answer is, you know, and as I say, drugs, just what drugs do to people. It's just awful. But anyway, so this YouTube channel is called, the guy's called Billy. And it's called The All or Nothing with Billy Moore. So pop over there and give it you might like the channel. He seems to go to different places and you know, just take a video, give commentary. Some things you'll agree with what he says. Some things you won't agree with. That's the nature of these sort of podcasts, isn't it? I found I agreed with a lot of what he said. But yeah, there were some things that I thought, oh, I don't know about that. But, you know, how can you agree with someone 100% in everything? The thing is, it's very interesting what he does, and you know, these things are important. These sort of podcasts are important. Show people what's really going on. So anyway, he seems to have, I don't know loads about him, but just from what he himself says in this video, he has been he's a recovering addict. Is that what you would call him? Because I presume addicts are like alcoholics, drug addicts are like alcoholics, that they're always classed as that, aren't they? You're always recovering. You can never say you're an ex, well, you know, because it's a slippery slope. You could fall back at any time. I could be wrong. If anybody knows that's different, do they say a recovering addict or do they say an ex-drug addict? I don't know what the proper terms are. I don't want to upset anybody. But I have got 100% respect for anyone who's been down, like when Billy, these people that Billy talks to in this video, he has been there himself, sleeping rough, you know, lost in this world of drugs and etc. He's been there himself and he has pulled himself out of it, you know, with help, I'm sure. But, you know, at the end of the day, it is on the person, isn't it? You know, you can, the thing with drug addiction or alcohol addiction, any sort of addiction, you can do so much. But ultimately, it does have to come from that person. Sometimes just one thing. He says that in this video, something, just one word, one comment, one kind gesture can just turn, you know, somebody can just turn around. And there's a couple of parts in this video. I'm going to go through it bit by bit, and I will stop it every now and again to comment. Just there are a couple of people that he talks to. It's so very sad. I mean, really, so very sad. I cried through this, but anyway, let's get on to it. So he's gone to Bristol, which seems to be a place that he's been familiar with, and he's gone there to take this video. So let's have a look what he's got to say.
There who like, shares and comments on this channel in Bristol City Centre. Now, we haven't been here for a while. We'll have a little look around. I reckon it'll go into the evening by the time we finish this video. It's already getting on. But anyway, let's see what's.
So he sounds like he's from Liverpool. I think we can safely say he's from Liverpool. Now there's a little bit where let's go forward a little bit, because there's a little bit where he's going past the busker, and YouTube doesn't like the music type things, do they? I mean, look at, city centres. I mean, I don't know if Manchester is like that now. I don't ever remember Manchester being like that. I'm sure maybe it is now. Probably most city centres are similar to this. But, people just sitting around in the street, and you'll see sitting around drinking, taking drugs. I mean, it's horrible, really.
Monkeys. And he's singing that pretty well, to be fair.
So it's quite a typical sort of city centre, I would imagine. I'm not sure what day this was. He was there, whether it was a weekend, whether it was a midweek day. And, it's funny, you have this combination, don't you? Because you've got people going about their normal, going shopping. You've got the busker then you've got people sitting in the corners drinking or whatever. But it's a bit depressing, isn't it? I mean, is this typical of a city centre in Britain now?
Going off with a little firm here. No idea what's being said. I haven't got a clue. Hasta la vista, baby. That way. It's a terrible state of affairs, isn't it? You see someone.
Now, this to me, this man will break your heart, because, well, we'll see. He has a little chat to him. But, somebody just lying in the street like that, people just walk past, don't they? I mean, I think we've become so inert, or, I don't know, people just accept. And you've got people like bloody Suella Braverman trying to stop people from, using tents and things like that. And God forbid, homeless people, give them a home. If you don't want to give them them living in a tent on your doorstep, you don't want them lying in the street like this, give them a home, do something. Something's got to, to me, homelessness is the most terrible thing. If somebody hasn't got a roof over their head, they haven't got a home and they have to live like this on the street. And yeah, a lot of them, like this particular guy, he freely admits he is taking drugs. And a lot of people probably say, oh, well, it's his own fault he's taking drugs. But let's hear his story.
Come on. Just on the streets in that way. His hands are all fucked. His face is fucked. Spiced out. Just seeing you there outside the Greg's, lad. What's going on?
Well, just everything, really.
What's happened to your face? What's happened to your hands?
I was sitting in shoes down the doorway, and someone decided to kick me in the face.
Somebody just went up to him and kicked him in the face. Oh my God. Who would do that? What kind of person? There's a guy, whatever you think about if it's his own fault that he's there or whatever, which, is not true. But anyway, just even if you did think that, what's the reason for going up and kicking him in the face? what kind of person are you? That person who kicked him in the face and did that to him is walking around probably doing it to other homeless people, or, you know, going home and kicking the dog or his wife, or, you know, whatever. It could have been a woman, I don't know. Just foul people doing things like that.
Someone kicked you in the face?
Yeah.
Have you been to doctors? The hospital?
Yeah.
What have they said?
Just superficial wounding, just nothing major, like. I can't wear any plasters anyway because I'm allergic to latex, you see, so
Yeah.
just where I am.
You were knocked out before there on the floor, weren't you?
Yeah.
Have you been using spice? Is that what it does to you? Just puts you to bed? Well, look at your hands, lad. You need to go and get them sorted, you know, Harry.
Yeah.
So what happened? Where did it all go wrong?
My mum died
How long ago?
7 years ago.
Well, his mum died, so probably, you know, his mum had just been keeping him, I suppose, from him ending up like this. And then his mum died, and this is how he's ended up.
And you've been struggling ever since. And how old are you now, my mate?
34.
34. Look, lads, you've got a chance in life here, you know. You know that? There is a way out. There's a better way of living. And I hope that one day, right, that something lands in your head and you go, I've had enough of this shit. Because I've been where you've been, mate. That's why I'm speaking to you now, right? I've experienced the same trauma as yourself. You know what I mean, Harry? So what are you going to do?
But when he looks at him, I think there's a little bit of hope there in his eyes, you know, like this guy has got a chance. He has got a chance, but what, you know, I don't know what are the programs that are out there on the streets, you know, what are the do people, I don't know. I mean, it's got to be a good thing for society in general to get people off the streets and get them back into society and working, etc. It's not only for his benefit, it's for the benefit of society in general, that people can walk around a city centre and not be seen as, because I noticed there were, you know, families walking past, children walking past, and imagine for a child to see this guy, it would terrify them, wouldn't it? You know, just awful.
Lads, you've got a chance in life here, you know. You know that? There is a way out. There's a better way of living. And I hope that one day, right, that something lands in your head and you go, I've had enough of this shit. Because I've been where you've been, mate. That's why I'm speaking to you now, right? I've experienced the same trauma as yourself. You know what I mean, Harry? So what are you going to do? You sleeping on the streets?
I don't know what I'm going to do tonight, no.
I'll take you for some food and that, right? Make sure you're looked after.
Oh,
You're upset there, aren't you? You've had enough.
his little face then when he said, I'll take you for some food. His little face.
Harry. So what are you going to do? You sleeping on the streets?
I don't know what I'm going to do tonight, no.
I'll take you for some food and that, right? Make sure you look.
Oh, look, he's like, oh, some food, please. So, you know, the thing is, I suppose, whenever he gets money, because at the end of the day, he's a drug addict, so you can see that his money probably doesn't go on food, you know, he'll use the money to buy drugs, of course he will. And that, you know, he needs a good meal. So I hope really, well, I think he did, took him for something to eat. And you could see it when he said that, he did look up like all hopeful. But, you know, this is just one night out of this man's life. You know, where is this man now? Is he still on those streets, just lurching from day to day? And what will happen in the end is he just won't wake up one morning. That's what will happen. It's so sad.
Looked after. You're upset there, aren't you? You've had enough of this life, haven't you? You have, haven't you? I can't see anyone who's happy in this way of living. Have you ever been to a drug service?
Yeah.
Are you willing to change? Because because I'll give you some information after this, right? Let you know where to go. But Harry, man, just get yourself looked at, yeah? Appreciate you there. You saying hello as well, thank you. I had to make sure that kid was okay. People are just walking past, there's no one acknowledging them, you know.
Yeah, thank you, Iris, for saying that. That's kind. And yeah, I think Billy is a good man. And you know, the thing is that, but you can't do. There's a limit to what you can do, isn't it? You know, you go. But even just like he says, comes on to say here, like you can't save the world. You just can't save the world. One person can't save the world. But all you can do is spread awareness, and then just that little chat with him there. You never know. Something changed it for Billy. I mean, I don't know enough about Billy's past. I just know he's a recovering addict. But something changed for him. Something changed his life. So there's no reason why that couldn't happen to that young lad at some point. You know, his mum's died. Maybe he already had a drug problem before that, and his mum was keeping him, you know, just about sort of level. And then when his mum died, well, you know, he's just lost the plot because he can't look after himself. Maybe because of the drugs, but, you know, as I say there, but for the grace of God, go all of us or our children. You know, you can never think that it won't be you or it won't be your family that it happens to. It only happens to other people. It can happen to anyone, and it happens to the best families. When I say the best families, you know, it's not even. It is more obviously socio-economic, but you know, families of people who've got money or live in a nice life happens to their children as well, and sometimes their children can afford more expensive drugs, worse drugs. You know, maybe people smoke marijuana. It's not that expensive, but it is definitely a gateway drug. And anybody who thinks it isn't, I'm sorry, you're mistaken, because I've seen it happen. It's not to everybody. There's lots of people who can smoke a bit of marijuana and it'll never lead to anything else. But there are some people who can't, because some people have addictive personalities. Just the same with alcohol. Some people can drink alcohol just on a Friday night or a Saturday night, and then through the week maybe never drink, or maybe only drink every now and again, but other people can't. So so we can't change the world. We can't change the world, unfortunately, not just overnight, though we can help to change it if we all come together to help to change it. But people like Billy, they're making little steps. A little step, if all you do is a little step, it's better than nothing.
90% of the time, they're intoxicated and under the influence of some form of substance, either it's spice, heroin, whatever. But you know what? It's he's a young man at 34. It's just no life, is it? As they say, you can take a horse of water, but you can't make it drink it. And I'm under no illusion that whenever I say it doesn't land in someone's fucking thought process, and they start thinking, right, that's it, Billy's had a chat with me, I want to change my life. It's absolutely bollocks, but you know what? You've just got to chip away, haven't you? You might go to sleep tonight and think, fucking hell, that lad said something to me there today, and
Exactly. You've just got to chip away. You know, you're not gonna just have a conversation with someone necessarily, and then the next day they change their life completely. But maybe he will remember that, will stick with that man. You know, we just don't know. The thing is, you can only do little bits. Thanks, King Rex. Yes, he comes on at the end. You'll see a charity that he talks about that feeds homeless people. You see, not everyone can do something. It's not everyone's cup of tea to go out there raising money or talking to drug addicts or homeless people. That's not everyone. Everyone's cup of tea, but everyone can help a little bit. You know, there'll be places where you can. And my brother, he helps out at the soup kitchens in Manchester, you know, on Christmas Day, because he's not married, he's got no children, and I think he finds Christmas a little bit lonely. So he goes off to the homeless shelters and helps, you know, feed the homeless, and he probably gets something to eat as well himself. But do you see what I'm saying? That's a way you can help as well. You know, just volunteering or just taking some food around there, or, You know, you don't have to give hundreds and thousands of pounds or even hundreds and thousands of hours of your time. If everybody did one little bit, and you have to, of course, pick who you're going to, because there's so many different charities. It's not only homeless shelters as well. You know, there's so many different things. You can't contribute to everything, but maybe you can rotate. That's what I try and do. You know, is like, I know, you know, I can't. This is why I don't understand people like Elon Musk. You know, there he is, bloody shooting rockets up into space that end up just, you know, exploding. What's the bloody point? Sort out what's happening on this earth. People like Elon Musk and other billionaires, they've got the power to end this sort of thing. But you know why they won't? Because, you know, as well, in capitalist society, you need people to look down on. Keep people in the rat race on the treadmill. Oh, you don't want to end up like that. Don't want to end up like that. You know, so there's almost the establishment almost want people like this on the streets. I still believe the establishment has a lot to do with flooding drugs into cities, and that's like deliberate. Keep people quiet. You know, keep people quiet. They're too drugged up to all get together and realise what we're all doing, and let everybody argue between themselves.
You actually feel a little bit human after I'm talking to me. That's why I do this stuff, you know. Because I remember when I was out there and people used to just walk past me.
Yeah.
So when I got my shit together, right, someone came into the meetings and said to me, you know what, Bill, when I was out there, you didn't even acknowledge me, you know. And I promised myself that from that day on, you know, make sure I acknowledge people and ask their name and see how they're getting on. But anyway, moving on, getting a bit deep now. This was the city. I got my first bank account, my first passport, the gifts of recovery, so to speak.
Oh.
Getting clean and getting, you know, what normal people get. But to me, it was like, oh, it's like a million miles away when you're using. You know, I've got a provisional license. You know, I've got a life. So we owe a lot, really, to this city. However, it has changed drastically. It's been almost 20 years now. They're just feral, aren't they? Not one of them kids spoke English. This is what you've got on the streets today. You know, just feral, mental kids running around, causing dramas.
So, of course, as the night falls, I think these places get even more scary. I remember years ago going on a tram in Manchester with my son when he was little to visit a friend. And as we went there, it was daytime, it was coming up to Christmas. It was a lovely atmosphere. You know, everyone was happy. Christmas coming up. It was about 12 o'clock in the afternoon. When we were coming back, which wasn't that late, it was only maybe 6 o'clock in the evening. 7 a push. Oh God, talk about a different atmosphere. And on this tram, there was a load of kids, young kids, really young kids, just roaming on this tram in their hoodies, and they weren't foreign kids. They were, proper Manchester kids, and all roaming about, intimidating people on this tram. And I couldn't believe I actually felt intimidated by what looked like 11 or 12-year-old boys. You know, it was just, I was angry with myself. And I think my son was about 8 at the time, maybe a bit older, 10. And they were looking at him, you know, because he's oblivious. He was oblivious to it all because he's not grown up in Manchester. He's not really that. He's a bit more streetwise now because he's older and he's lived in Manchester briefly. But, you know, I was brought up in Manchester. I am quite streetwise. Anyway, won't go into that. But yeah, the difference when the night falls, that's when all these horrible people come out. And when I don't mean the homeless by that, I'm talking about the kids that are just roaming around trying to cause trouble, you know, trying to intimidate people, etc. It's something, and of course, night falls early in Britain, doesn't it? So, you know, anytime after 6, really, you can be thinking that, you know, it's like no-go zones, these city centres. And this, you know, remember the reason why I'm showing this, because Jack O'Sullivan was wandering around in Bristol in the early hours of the morning. He wasn't in the actual city centre, but he was, you know, around this area. These are the sort of people that he might have come across or might have come across him. So that's the reason for showing it. But yeah, so all these kids running around, it's awful. You know, when did that happen as well? When did it happen? When I was sort of that age? You know, the worst thing you did was you'd knock on someone's door and run away, or, you know, we used to do pranks, phone pranks and things like that. We didn't do, you know, you didn't do happy slapping. Oh, so that tram that I was on in Manchester, when I got off the tram in the Bury area, I think it was Bury, where my sister lived at the time, these young lads got off as well. And as they got off, they happy slapped this guy, hit him across the side of the head with a brick or something. And we're videoing it and videoed it. And then they got off the tram. They're all laughing and joking at watching this video. Do you remember happy slapping? It was like this crazy. This was before TikTok. I mean, people whinge about TikTok, but, you know, this was before TikTok, before really social media took off as it's took off now. But yeah, they'd videoed it and they'd probably put it out to their social media. I don't know what it would have been then. Facebook. I don't think Snapchat was around then. Don't think Twitter was really around. It would have probably been Facebook. There was another one, MySpace, wasn't there? Anyway, there were a few others. So that's what kids were doing then. So that was probably maybe 18 years ago. Now, often I think about those kids. I think, what happened to them, I wonder? They were about sort of 13. You know, they weren't any older than that. They were so young. That's what was so scary about it. Well, I couldn't believe I was actually sat there feeling intimidated by 13-year-old boys. And what happened to them? I wonder what they're doing now. Have they got their own kids? Did they end up in prison? Did they end up being arrested for murder? What? Or did they turn their life around? You know, I mean, I think all teenagers go through this pretty dark phase where they do things they shouldn't do. And you just hope, you know, that they do come out of it. But yeah, I wonder what happened to them kids.
Here's the Palestinian protesters again. They're everywhere, these, don't they?
Now, I'm going to have to fast forward a little bit probably through this because I can't bear this. What is it? You know, listen, I believe in stopping the war in Gaza. I believe in all that. I think Israel are just as bad as the Palestinians. You know, it's all, and I agree with that. But why did they just repeat the same thing over and over again? You know, for God's sake, in the end, like, my brain's gone numb. Yeah, we heard you the first time. Don't just keep repeating the same thing over and over again. And as he goes on to see him, because he made me laugh and he said, oh, they get everywhere, these, don't they? You know, in his Liverpool accent. I can't do accents, but yeah, why don't they protest about other things? You know, they're living in Britain. Why don't they protest about the 6 million British children living in poverty? Why don't they protest about the House of Lords has a Russian lord in it because it's so corrupt, the political system? Why don't they protest about the homeless and how terrible it is, all those homeless? You know, what is this? And the repetition of it, even, you know, for someone like me who has a sympathy with them, in the end, it's just irritating. Just shut up. Okay, you've said your point. Don't just keep repeating the same thing over and over again. You know, go and get a job.
Why is H&M committing genocide?
You can't hide. You're committing genocide. H&M. You can't hide. You're committing genocide. H&M. You can't hide. You're committing.
Yeah, so they're protesting again outside H&M. They probably buy their clothes in there. You know, this isn't the thing that I think he shows them up for when they're protesting against outside the iPhone shops, you know, against Apple. And he says, how many of you have got an iPhone? Probably all of them. They can probably afford it. I can't afford an iPhone. Not that I want one. I prefer a Samsung. But do you know what I mean? It's like, get a job. Get a job and don't just stand there repeating the same thing over and over again. You know, it's just, it's brain numbing. So, oh God, I just can't bear it.
Boycott H&M, Palestine. I wish they'd march for the homeless and things like that, to be fair. Now they're outside Apple Mac. Honest to God. Apple Mac. You're committing genocide. Fucking hell, they'll be going to the...
You know, and the fact is, a lot when you watch the videos from Gaza and places like that, most of them have got iPhones as well. So protesting against Apple, if you want to protest against Apple, don't buy an iPhone. If you buy an iPhone, you're supporting them.
The lobster pot next. Has anyone got an iPhone here? I bet you've all got iPhones though, haven't you? Oh, you know. Well, what do you want to talk about?
Well, anything. You seem to want to talk about iPhones.
Yeah, because I bet you've all got iPhones here, haven't you?
You know why we have iPhones? Because we're slaves.
It's your point. You're going to H&M shouting the odds off. You're going to Apple Mac shouting the odds off. You're getting nowhere in life, are you?
Yeah, what's the other option then?
Why don't you march for the people in the UK who are homeless?
You don't have to shout at them. You can talk to me.
Why don't you march for them? People, what about the pensioners? No, seriously, no, right? I see you marching for other countries, but you never march for your own. Yeah, but what about the people in the UK?
It's our money, which is
It's part of the same struggle. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay. Well, I've had a bit of a difficult experience with people who, when I try and speak to them, they get really aggressive.
Sure.
Yeah. If I don't believe in their narrative, then they judge me. I'll have a chat with you. If you want.
This is so sinister. So these three guys have sort of followed him out from that protest. And watch this guy now make sure that his mask is on properly, make sure his beanie hat is down. So he's planning on doing something horrible. And you know what? As they've got their right to protest, everyone's got a right to protest. So has Billy got his right to say what he wants to say, whether you agree with him or not. But this, I think watching this just shows you this guy here is so sinister. When he pulls up his mask, pulls down his beanie hat, he's just making sure nobody can see his face. And then the three of them are stood there like that. One of them is filming Billy, and of course, you know, Billy. The thing is, don't ever underestimate someone who's come up rough. Do you know what I mean? He's not scared of them. To be honest, I won't be scared of him either, because it's just like, how dare they intimidate him? They're supposed to be protesting against violence. And then they're being sinister like this against someone who's just trying to film.
Got a little weirdo here with a belly on. Right.
Yeah, he's just making sure he can't be seen before he looks at him.
Just go home.
What's that?
Just go home.
Just go home. See you later, ta-ra. Just go home.
You going to go home?
Am I going to go home? No, I'm not.
Are you going to go home? Look at that sinister little shit. How dare he? How dare he tell him to go home? Why don't he go home? God, you know, it's made me really angry. Because I do agree with protests, you know that I do. But I don't like them bang the drums, repeat yourself a million times protests. I like that protest the guy did up Big Ben. To me, that is that's how you should protest. But, and, you know, not shouting and banging drums and this, that and the other. No. Why? Just protest properly and people will listen to you better. You know, if you want people to listen to you and take you seriously, you should protest in a better way than that. Because straight away, if I heard all that drum banging and whatever, I would switch off and it just irritate me. So, and then you look at him, look at his eyes. He's an evil little twonk. Hands behind his back as if he's the fucking police or something, telling Billy Moore and I didn't know about Billy Moore till I saw this video, but I can see that Billy's not a person that you just tell to go home, and that you've got no right to do it anyway. Who is he? And you can see are you going to go home? He's planning on doing something. He's probably, first of all, he's looking at Billy. Billy's older than him. There's 3 of them and only 1 of Billy. But do you know what? I still fancy Billy's chances better than theirs.
No, I'm not. Why should I go home? Are you going to make me go home? Okay, then see you later. Because you are in my space. And you're telling me to leave a public place and go home. How old do you think I am? Do you think I'm a child? I can stay here all night, to be fair. See you later. Go on. Your friends are over there. You don't need to be here now. You don't need to try and look intimidating and try and eyeball me, mate. It doesn't work. Right, I'm not interested. Couldn't give a fuck. I'm not asked. See you later. You're here. I'm there. Go on, ta-ra.
Look the way he's looking at him, but he's got his balaclava on. It's got and this one. Cowards. Why have they got their masks and balaclavas on? Show your face. He's looking at Billy like he hates him. And he really wants to do something to Billy. You can tell that he does. And maybe he would have if Billy wouldn't have sort of put him straight. But look, they're both looking at him, but he's taking the video, but they've got their balaclavas on and masks and a hoodie up. What they're hiding, show your face.
Have you got any idea why you're marching?
Yeah.
Tell me why.
For the women in Palestine, for the women in our country.
Why don't you march for the people in this country? Like who?
What do you mean?
Like who do you march for? Come on.
We march for justice, we march for food justice, for justice in Palestine.
Yeah, but what about the people who are on the streets here? What about people who are in addiction? What about people who are struggling? Yeah. What about taking care of the people here?
What do you think we should do for them?
What do I think you should do for them? Well, do a lot more than what you're doing for other countries.
It's hard though, right? There's injustice everywhere. There's injustice in this country, but there's also, like, right now, a lot of injustice in other places.
These are posh boys, it's just, these boys have never suffered any injustice. What injustice have they suffered? Probably, I don't know, what if their parents didn't buy them the iPhone that they want, for God's sake.
I mean that we should not care about these other people. I mean, maybe
I really don't believe that you give a fuck about anyone in this country. Right, I really don't. Right, that's a fact, and it's like it's your way or the highway, and that's not right. But this kid has just told me to go my way while he goes his way. I'll go wherever I want to go. Go on, that's it. Take care. Post that. Tag me in it, please, mate. Billy Moore. Appreciate that.
Tag me in here. Anyway, they gave up and they went in the end.
I swear, right, you've got about half a dozen gimps surrounding me with face masks on, telling me to go home. Fucking serious. Why can't I ask the question? I'm telling you now. They're all wearing H&M onesies, carrying iPhones.
Yeah, exactly.
Guess the meat. Guess the meat, I'll pay £2.
Now, I don't know if this is staged or if it's real, but it was hilarious. Just watch it.
£20, yeah? £20. Try it.
Now, first thing I want to say, if somebody was offering, I wouldn't take. That's the other thing that's been ruined these days. You know, like when you go in supermarkets and things, and they offer you samples of stuff. I wouldn't take anything now that anyone's offering. Could be, I wouldn't take a drink. I wouldn't take food. You don't know what's in it. Could be spite, and certainly not on the bloody streets of Bristol at night. I wouldn't be accepting food off a stranger.
Chicken. It's not chicken. What else could it be? Beef. It's not beef. One more guess. Pork. Pork. It's not pork. We're just out here giving out cat samples. We feel like we don't really need the cats anymore.
What happened there, lad? Seriously, what happened?
We was doing a little prank, right? We were giving out chicken.
Well, do you know what? I'm sorry, but I wouldn't have eaten it in the first place. But imagine someone then telling you, oh, it's cat or dog or horse or whatever. Of course, you'd go mad. You'd go mental. Now, I don't know if that was staged. I'm not sure, because I think this is some sort of TikTok pranker or something. But it did make me laugh. But yeah, I don't blame him, bloody idiot. What sort of a prank is that?
And we're just saying it's dog meat, but obviously these Bristol people, they got really, really angry and they flipped the tray. They even dented it on the bottom. And now I'm just really scared. I'm never ever coming back to Bristol again.
Where are you from?
I'm from Swindon.
Oh, yeah.
So he said, I'm never ever coming back to Bristol again. Where are you from? I'm from Swindon. Swindon's just as bad, let me tell you. I've worked in Swindon. Just funny. I don't know, as I say, come over to me. I'm not sure if it was genuine or not, but it's still hilarious. You know, remember, like I say, when I was younger, you know, we'd knock on people's doors and run away. Now they're going out telling people they're giving them cat. You know, what is wrong with people?
You travelled up here to do this little flag on them.
Yeah.
Mad him, innit? Flagging the kids. You'd give them 20 quid if they guessed what meat it was. And it was actually cat meat. One of them mad TikTok pranksters. Moving on.
Oh, now this, I just want
That's heavy, that banging up in the street, girl.
I just want to give you a warning here, because
Why?
this is awful.
Two guesses. No self-respect, no nothing. No fuck about what other people think.
Yeah, but what about the kids that are around?
They shouldn't be running around, they should be in bed by now.
What?
They should be at home. Top, like.
So they're shooting up in the street, and when he says, what about the kids? And I'm not laughing because it's funny. She says, oh, well, they should be in bed by now. Britain's mad, isn't it? Britain's mad.
So you think it's okay to do that?
No.
Mad, innit? Just walking down the street with a syringe sticking out of a groin. That's just insane. In the street, people walking past, standing on a corner, sticking a needle in your groin.
Oh God. Thank God
Crazy.
I never liked drugs. I never got
Thanks for that
involved with
message.
drugs.
Sorry you never read it.
Yeah, sweet.
But tell me what's going on here.
Yeah, Bristol. That was almost there last year.
So this guy's from my neck of the woods. He's from Manchester. He's from, I think he said Rusham, let's say, or it might be Moston. I'm not sure.
For what? Maybe about 3 months. I came up homeless, yeah. The other homeless, because I just turned up here. It's so big issue. I don't take crack, I don't take heroin. I smoke a bit of spice, but yeah, they thought I was police, so I ended up with fucking a couple of them throw petrol at me.
What, say you're on fire?
Nah, they tried to. Obviously, this is Bristol. I'm from Manchester. They're not doing that.
Is that where you're from?
I'm from Manchester. Yeah.
Whereabouts?
Moston.
It's like,
Moston.
Area, happy.
Now, I lived in Moston for a very brief period when I was very young. It's like Beirut, or it was then. Oh my God, what a place! It was then. Now, I'm sure and a lot of those places, like where I lived briefly, it's all been bulldozed down now because it got that bad. It literally was a place that the police didn't even want to go to. And just round the corner from where I lived That is where, I don't know if you've heard of the case of Suzanne Capper, who was set on fire by friends because supposedly she was a grass. That happened literally around the corner from me. It was just something every day. It was a horrible, horrible place. Now, I'm not saying where he comes from. Moston's a big place, and maybe it's okay now, Moston. If any of you out there know Moston, but it wasn't then. It was like Beirut. It was a horrible place to live. What it's like now, I don't know. I mean, I'm talking about 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Moston,
yeah. Right near to my estate. Yeah. I end up living in Bath now.
Yeah.
Got a gaff and that. Yeah, proper.
So these were signing on with you?
Bit of a difference between Moston and Bath, I would think. But having said that, he goes on to say that Bath has got its problems too.
Yeah, obviously when there's a team of them and I'm on my own, yeah, I'll dip off for a bit. But
Yeah.
Fuck them, idiots. But
What's Bath saying then?
Bath still, everyone thinks Bath's posh. It's still got its rough kind of people.
Yeah.
But everywhere else.
It's like Chester. Aesthetically, it looks great.
Yeah.
But then you get into the
Everyone
suburbs.
thinks it's fucking posh and everything, but nah, it's just as rough as anywhere. And yeah, nowhere's rougher than Manchester, but Bristol's coming along. Yeah.
Have you got your shit together now?
Yeah.
You look like you're doing all right, to be fair.
Yeah. Anyone who knows me or sees me now, they say, yeah, he's got his head screwed on.
Yeah.
Proper.
But before you were just like Turbo.
Turbo. Yeah, I was as bad as Turbo on the streets, marking the doorways, fucking no legs and that.
Yeah.
I used to be in them doorways in Manchester.
See,
Palace Theatre.
You could set an example here.
Yeah, no, I want to be a support worker. I want to get this done. Half of these know. I could walk in that circle there of people now.
Yeah.
And they all know what I want to do as a fucking job. They all know I want to be a support worker.
And be all right with you now?
I got barred from Bosch because I was helping people there, and because they can't do that support. So yeah,
you need people like us to get out there.
Yeah.
On the
I've
ground.
signed up more people for Big Issue than Big Issue have signed up fucking people in Bristol. Big Issue said that. I did start selling Big Issue. No one would fucking buy it off me because I look good.
Quick question, right? Because I always want to know this. What was it that motivated you to stop using the change?
I've not stopped using.
No, you still haven't.
Yeah, but I've got my head screwed on now. I've got 2 kids in Cornwall. My mum and dad are crackheads. This is why I left home, and that's what put me on the streets. Now this is leaving me.
His mum and dad are crackheads. This is what I mean. Everyone's got a story behind them. You know, we see people judge them. Oh, look at them. But his mum and dad are crackheads. So what chance did he have? And then what chance did they have? You know, you don't know where they came from and what happened. You know, these are cycles, aren't they? They're just never ending cycles that go on. And when you hear people's stories, it is, you know, he's done well to get where he is. I mean, he looks clean. He's got a place to live. He admitted that he's still taking some drugs, but it's not on the harder drugs. I don't even know what spice is. I don't even want to know what it is. But he's still taking that, he said. But, you know, at least he looks decent. And he said about he's selling the Big Issue and things. He wants to be a support worker. So let's hope he can do that. I hope he does get to do it.
It's missus and my kids.
Yeah.
I've got to get a gaff so I can have my kids overnight and that. I can't have my kids now. Like, fucking hell. I can run the homeless around fucking 10 times, but I can't fucking get a gaff for myself.
You're doing a lot better than you was.
Yeah.
That's enough,
A
innit?
lot better.
Yeah, man, you look like you're doing a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know what? Appreciate your time.
Yeah.
He's like that. Take care. Frankie, tell us about Bristol and what it's like here.
No, it's not that bad. I've only been here since like January though, because I used to live in Taunton, and then. So
this girl, she's 19 years old, and I think she's living on the streets, and she's got kids, but her kids are not with her. 19. I mean, it's so sad, isn't it? It's so sad.
And I come up with my partner because he's originally from Bristol himself, so that's why we come back here to start a new life. We've been together for like 9 months now.
And how's that working out?
Yeah, really well, going really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, Bristol's nice.
You're only young as well, aren't you?
Yeah,
19.
no, 19.
And this is your best friend?
Yeah, Kat.
Big dog there. Kat. And how do you find Bristol, Kat?
I've been on off here since I was 13.
13?
Yeah, I'm originally from London, innit? So.
You know what? I used to live up here in a place called Fish Ponds. I lived in St. George's as well, you know. Yeah. So what are you doing then? What are you going to... do with yourself as you?
I'm not doing a lot at the minute, just trying to sort my life out, get a place, things like that, so I can get my son back and things.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So what's you need to sort out?
housing and then like go back to court and stuff.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's it.
Have you ever had issues with like drinking, drugs and stuff like that?
Drugs I've had an issue with, but I've never drunk. I don't like drink.
Shame, I'm not a big drinker myself. I did have a problem with drugs big time, massively, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had to change
Better
my
off
my
with
ways.
alcohol.
So, what was your team and what was your drug of choice at the time?
Crack.
Crack, wow. You're 19 years old.
Yeah. But I'm off it now. I've been off for quite a while now.
Well done.
How's your manager?
Yeah, quite well.
Yeah.
Really well. It's going quite well.
Come off yourself, you didn't get no help.
Yeah, no, I didn't go to doctors or nothing like that. Just come off it by myself and I haven't touched
Crack usually goes hand in hand with gear as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But
I've never
really,
done
not
that.
hand in hand,
Not
because
once.
it's different kind of fucking, what do you call it? It's different kind of vibes.
Yeah.
Gear is makes you a downer, crack is an upper.
Yeah, you're partying with that, aren't you?
But heroin is in your body, but crack is a mind mechanism. You think you need it, but you actually don't.
Yeah, you don't know.
No, it's the same with coke. You don't need it. It's just your head thinking that you need it. That's about it.
Yeah.
You're trying to get your little, is it boy, girl?
Yeah, and my little boy Hunter.
How old is he?
He's 3 times 4 December the 1st.
I've got a 4-year-old, trust me.
Oh,
He's a boy, the wild.
Poor Hunter. Hope he...
I wish you all the best, Frankie, and I appreciate you having a little chat with me.
No, that's okay. Thank you.
Shay, lovely to meet you. Thanks for agreeing to have a little chat. Tell us a little bit about what's going on for you.
So, I have been on and off rough sleeping for about 1.5 years now. I have a abusive ex-partner that has not custody but care of my children until I get better, which I will. I had a mental breakdown that cost me everything: family, friends, housing, you name it. I lost it. It was gone. I was literally fed to the wolves. It was, here we go. I'm having to fight tooth and nail to get food in my belly.
Okay, I'm going to start. So I've got to go in a minute. It's nearly over anyway. There's only a couple of minutes left of the video. In fact, actually, let's watch it through to the end. It's just that I've got an appointment.
To get support, to get a safe place as a woman to sleep, because, you know, I was...
Are you on the streets? Are you on the streets, Shay? You're on the streets, struggling. Yeah, it's okay, you know, just feel it.
But you know what? The people on the streets are the most fucking realest people you will ever meet, because they have got to rock bottom. They can't be false to get by. They are just themselves. They are true, real, natural people. So when you walk past someone that's on the fucking streets and led down, and you walk past them and don't even fucking acknowledge them, who the fuck are you?
I agree.
Yeah,
who the fuck are you?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Originally, you're from Nottingham as well, you were saying?
Because of a very bad dad. We have all the bad daddy issues over here, babe. We
I've got a bad dad.
We love them. We love them. They keep us going. Like, let's go.
Right, Shay. Right, I wish you all the best, honest, and I want to say a big thank you for having a little chat with me. Girls like that on the streets. Loads of trauma going on in the background.
The thing is, I think what's interesting as well, you can see just from those people he spoke to, they've all got a different story, haven't they? So they're not all, you know, the guy's mum died, she's had problems with her father, that's probably where it all stems from. Then she's had a mental breakdown. The other young girl, she's like been a drug addict, etc. So they've all got different stories as to how they've ended up there. They're all people with their own story to tell, and hopefully they've all got some hope of getting out of that hell that they're living in. And you know, I saw this a lot when I went to Madrid last year, because you know, don't really get this here where I live, homelessness and things in the nearest big cities you do, but they're not like Madrid. I mean, Madrid, honest to God, I found it really distressing, because people are sitting out on terraces of restaurants eating and drinking, and just over the road, you know, there's like about 20 people all like homeless, and all ages. I mean, there were old people, you know, it just was heartbreaking. It's terrible homelessness.
Just taking to getting wrecked and burying all that shit. Drowning the sorrows in a bevy or numbing the feelings with a dog. Bristol, lovely city. It's changed a hell of a lot. Again, you've got people marching and protesting. People on the streets. What are you collecting for? Tell me.
Hot meals for those in need.
Brilliant. These guys are cooking hot meals for those in need. Do you actually cook hot meals, or you just get money and put it in your pocket? Good, because there's a lot of people that pocket the charity funds and go and buy themselves a pair of 110s, but that's not you.
No, we're monks. We're monks, not punks.
Like monks, not punks. What's the charity called?
It's called Food for Life.
Food for Life. Get on it. It's in Bristol. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So there you go, Food for Life. There's a charity you
once
can
again,
help
thanks for watching
if you
and
want to
take care.
help
I appreciate
what's going on. So thank you to Billy for that video. I hope you didn't mind me sharing it, showing it. And the reason that I'm showing it is about this boy, Jack O Sullivan. So the thing is, he was wandering around in Bristol, so you can see, you know, there's a lot of issues there in Bristol. So was he mugged? Because the thing is, when somebody wants drugs as well, and I'm not trying to say that all drug addicts are thieves or this, that, or the other, or all homeless people. And what I'm trying to say is, you can see there's problems there in Bristol. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility, or it could have been, you know, there were people out there out to cause trouble, not homeless. You know, sometimes it's the posher ones, you know, those posh lads, they were the ones that were threatening him, intimidating him, you know, protesting outside Apple, and they've probably all got iPhones, you know, there's like, so, you know, sometimes it's not the homeless that you need to worry about, the ones that look scary. It's the ones that don't look scary, that seem okay, that you have to worry about. So what I was just trying to sort of show is, unfortunately, Bristol, like any big city centre, I suppose, there's every chance that something might have happened to Jack, because he was, you know, he was a lad who was out there drunk, vulnerable, and carrying a lot of expensive things, wearing expensive clothes, you know, expensive watch, expensive trainers, expensive everything, and an iPhone. So is that a possibility of what happened to Jack, rather than that he did go in the river? But I hope the police are exploring all possibilities. I know that Jack's family certainly are. They've got a private investigator, haven't they, that has been trying their best to find things out. I just hope one day they do find out where Jack is, and put them out of this hell that they must be going through. Okay, I've got to go, but thank you for caring about Jack. Thank you for caring about homeless people. Honestly, homelessness, people should be protesting against it, because anyone can end up homeless. You're only a couple of, paychecks, don't they say, from ending up on the street. You just never know, or if not you, one of your family, or one of your loved ones. And it may be after you haven't got the power to do anything about it, like that guy whose mum died. You know, she probably tried to save him from himself for quite a long time, and then when she died, he couldn't do it anymore. Some people just can't, and then when they lose the one person maybe that's helping them, that's how they end up. So many different reasons why people end up on the street. I'll never forget that. Do you remember Rishi Sunak when he went helping out at the homeless shelter? And this guy came up with something to eat, and they got talking, and he asked him, "Are you in business?" And the guy said, "Well, I'm homeless," because he was quite a well-to-do, the guy, you know, the way he spoke, nicely spoken. And Rishi Sunak, how thick is he? Another multimillionaire. Do something positive with your money, Rishi. You know, don't just go in a helicopter here, there, and everywhere. Do something proper with your money. I'll tell you what, a huge distribution of wealth is needed. people, they don't even have to give all their, I'm not saying they give all their wealth away, but they should give a decent, if you're a billionaire, you know, anyway, don't get me started, but everyone can do something. We can all do, you know, if you're earning, I don't know, £1,000 a month, you can give £1, can't you? You can normally find £1 to give. But, you know, if you're a billionaire, how many, you know, you should give more. Of course you should. Well, then all they ever want to do is avoid paying tax, don't they? But they're earning loads of money. And then they go, there's a big fuss made about people who are hardly earning any money, you know, paying, you know, not paying enough tax, or, I don't know, doing a little job on the side, earning, you know, a couple of quid on the side if they're on unemployment or whatever. And then these people, the richer they are, the more money they want, the greed, honest to God. Anyway, as the Bible says, it's harder for a rich man to get into the kingdom of heaven than to put, easier to put a camel through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. So the thing is, if you're rich, and some people are, you know, just do good things with it. Okay, so I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God go with you. Please don't forget to leave your fingerprint on the your DNA on the like button. Let me put my banner up. Please think about subscribing if you're not already subscribed. And I'll see you really soon in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye.